The red carpet event in Dallas, Texas, taking place tonight. And following that event, Joseph Fiennes, who is the lead actor, playing the role of Clavius. Clavius or Clavius?
You can take both. I think Clavius it sounds perfectly proficient to me.
Yeah.
So
Clavius sounds kind of Roman,
more Roman
but
than
I've also
Clavius.
heard Clavius.
I think both. No one quite knows, but I think Clavius.
So let's talk about Clavius, the character, and you put so much into this character. Tell me about how you brought him to life from the script and the concept to really being on the screen.
Well, that was a big challenge. There are a number of challenges, but the idea that this character is a historical fictional character meant that I had to work really hard, especially as he's placed in a story we know so well. And part of gaining that authenticity is reading and research, but a part of my reading opened up the opportunity to go to Rome. I had read that the Roman army was influenced by gladiators in terms of warfare and battle techniques. And so I found a gladiator school and I went in. So the big way in, the key for Clavius was me from a physical point of view rather than from an intellectual, mental point of view. And that gave me a level of understanding of the conditioning that these guys at that time would have been entrenched in. It would have been a brutal, surgical, analytical kind of sense of battle, and on how they operated on the front line. How they fought is how they thought. So I took that sensibility into Clavius, and it was Clavius, and it was a great. The more I built that up, the more I enjoyed the journey of his conditioning unraveling.
And of course, you have the battle scenes, just the way that the Roman officials and the Roman army carried out what they did. And you also have the political aspect of that time period. You have, of course, this man named Jesus who appears on the earth, and he has this band of followers, and he's perceived as a threat to the religious people of the day. He's perceived as a threat in some regard to the Romans. The political intrigue was so fascinating during that time.
Well, there's that great tension. There's also a ticking clock. We've got the Emperor Tiberius arriving, so that's putting pressure on Pilate, who's putting pressure on his right-hand man to go and find this body. The political backdrop is taut and tense, and as it would have been in Judea at that time, there were uprisings all the time. And for Clavius, I think that it's another day at the office for him. But he is really worn down by warfare and what it is to be in Judea at that time. He's a man that might be prepped for change, and so he begins this wonderful journey.
It's very interesting because your character Clavius was basically Pilate's right-hand man. When Pilate wanted something done, you were the guy, and your character said something to the effect that, when he asked, what do you want? It was, basically the position in Rome, and then to, essentially retire comfortably.
Yes, exactly.
And it's interesting that at, the peace that this character was seeking at the end, and I don't think this is a spoiler alert, but it's, it's something that in essence that character was in the process of discovering.
Yeah, he's rewarded with it. He's. It's funny because before he meets this irrevocable moment, this turning point of his life, he's searching quietly for peace, and I think he would never dream that it comes in the form that he sees it in. But there is a man who's involved in the great mystery and is prepped for change.
Well, you talk about the great mystery. That prompted me to think when we were having a roundtable discussion earlier, and about the people that were involved in the plan, and that time period, the circumstances surrounding the crucifixion, resurrection of Christ. All of these pieces were falling into place in the carrying out of God's will, and there were numerous people that were involved in that.
But that's what I love. There's a lovely moment where he safeguards the word by protecting the followers of Christ out of the clutches of the Roman army. And so I love that idea that he might have been part of the greater mystery, the greater plan.
I have seen two things which cannot reconcile. A man dead without question, and that same man alive again.
What frightens you? Being wrong. Wagering eternity on it.